Hello, hello. Welcome to the first episode of PEEPSONALITY Live for spring 2022. While we're waiting for everybody to join us so we can start crafting this awesome Peeps Easter basket, I figured it would be fun to hear what everybody's favorite flavors or color of Peeps are. So I am a pink girl through and through. Gotta have pink. But I just tried the coffee flavor of Peeps, and they are so good and so delicious. So I'd love to hear what your favorite flavors are. Or did you hear that there's going to be like a tropical burst that's going to be available at Target? I'm really excited to try those because I love everything tropical. Oh yeah, we've got some fellow pink lovers as well. Love some blues. So anyway, today we will be crafting up this Easter basket. If you did not see it already on my feed or on the Peeps feed, it is adorable and perfect for Easter. So of course it goes ombre in the rainbow. Ooh, sparkly wild berry, somebody says. That's, gotta love berry flavors, right? So today we'll be crafting up this basket, and I'm gonna show you guys how to marble paper to create these paper flowers, and then we'll be creating the paper flowers as well. You may not be able to do the entire basket while we're crafting here because the paint does need to dry, but I can show you how to create the flowers once your marbled paper is dry, and then you can recreate it and finish your basket on your own time. So I hope that you guys are ready to craft. Let's see, I'm gonna see what some other people's favorite flavors. Oh, somebody's really excited to try the tropical ones too. Yes, so am I. I just saw those. I'm excited to try them. I believe that Peeps are sold year round. They're just different flavors. There's like the Halloween ones and the Christmas ones, so I think you can get them all year round. Okay, so we're going to start off by marbling our paper. So hopefully you guys saw the supply list and have your supplies ready to go. I'm gonna move all of my Peeps out of the way, so I got a clean working area here. And I have my acrylic craft paint and some white paper. Now this is not really cardstock paper. You can use printer paper or cardstock if you have it. This is just like what I could find at the craft store, some large scale paper. But anything that is white and slightly flexible paper-wise should work. We also need a squeegee and some paper towels, which I do have here. Oh, it fell down. Some paper towels to clean off the squeegee. So if you just joined us, we are doing a craft of this rainbow Peeps Easter basket. So we've got paper marbled flowers adorned with Peeps in there as well. They're all hiding. I think there's 8 of them hiding around here. But it's perfect for Easter, and you got to fill it with Peeps as well to give it as your Easter basket gift. Okay, so we're starting with the marbled paper. What will end up looking like, these are some that I did previously that have dried already. So I did my basket in an ombre of colors, like the rainbow. So I marbled pink and white, and then yellow and white, and then kind of did the colors together so that it would fade all through the rainbow of colors. But feel free to marble them however you want. This is your craft, not mine. I'm letting you take over. I'm just going to show you how. All right, so I have my acrylic craft paint. Any brand is fine. These are the colors that I chose based on the classic Peep colors that you can see behind me. So I'm going to start with a purple and blue mixture. And you're just going to take your paint, and hopefully you can see this on the screen. It's not fully covered up by the people commenting. And you're just going to squeeze little dollops around your paper. Now I'm not squeezing this on my tabletop. This is on the paper, but it's hard to tell. Just, I don't know, nickel-sized globs of paint. And then I'm going to do that with my other color. So I have a dark purple, and I'm going to do a light purple, and then I think I'm going to mix in a little bit of the blues as well, so we get a good marbling effect with this one. All right. So sorry if I'm missing anybody's questions, but there we go. These PEEPSONALITY lives will be available after the live on the Peeps channel, so you can come back and watch it if you miss anything, or want to do the craft later and you're just tuning in to see what it's all about right now, it'll be there so you can watch it. So now I have my paint all daubed around my paper. This is just kind of haphazard. That's what's the fun about marbling and this technique. It really, there's no rhyme or reason to it. So I'm going to take my Squeegee. You can just find this like at the craft store or a home improvement store. And I'm going to spread the paint kind of in a zigzag motion. So I'm going towards myself and then I'm going to rotate and I'm going to scrape up some of this other paint dollops. And I'm just going to keep going back and forth, zigzagging. And as I do, the paint is just kind of marbling itself on the paper. And then you got a lot of paint left over, and that's where you need your paper towels. So let me grab one of those, put this off to the side, and show you guys a little bit better what it looks like. So there you go, marbled paper, super quick, super easy, great for kids to do. I mean, my kids love doing this. I've got 9 through 13-year-olds, and they're all on board with the paint marbling. And it's just really so simple. So the only thing I would recommend if you're getting a lot of browns or anything is just that you have too many colors. So maybe look for ones that are complementary or across each or next to each other on the color wheel. So like this blue and purple, they mesh really well together. Okay, so you're going to do this for all of your colors. So as you can see on my basket, I did some pink, 2 shades of pink, and then I did pink and yellow. Then I did just 2 shades of yellow. I did blues, and I think I did blue and yellow, but I can't really see it in here. So this might just be blues and purples, and then just purple. So I kind of did that many pages of marbled paper to turn into my flowers. I'm not going to show you all of those unless you really want me to, but I figured the crafting of the flowers takes a little bit more time, so we'll hop on to that part of the craft. So again, this is what it looks like once you've marbled the paper. This is all wet, so I'm going to set it aside to dry, and I'm going to get some of the paper that I already marbled. So this is marbled and dried, and I have a few of the colors that I've already did, and you can see I already cut a flower piece out of this one. So if you have any sort of paper, cardstock, printer paper, colored paper, construction paper, all of that will work if you want to cut along with me and try out some of these different paper flowers. So the first one that I'm going to do is really the easiest. And I'm just going to cut a square. Again, the bigger your square, the bigger your paper flower will be. This one I'm going to cut out of my paper, I would say it's about 4 by 4 or 3 by 4 inches. And it doesn't matter if you have some of the white showing. I mean, if you can get all the design, great, but this will kind of blend in as well and make it part of the flower. And so now what we're going to do is cut this into an organic circle. So basically cutting off the squared sides to kind of just create a circular shape. And then you're going to spiral cut it. And you can kind of create waves in here. This will be like the petals of the flower. So as you can see, I'm just kind of cutting wavy pattern, and I'm just going to spiral cut this all the way down to the center. And then at the very center, I'm going to leave about a 1-inch section. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. 1-inch section uncut, and that'll be the base of the flower. And so then you just have a little spirally do. And you're going to just start wrapping it. Well, let's see. I'll start with this side. You're going to start with this side and just kind of start wrapping it around itself like this. So as you can see here. And this is going to create like a little rosebud type flower. So if you're just joining us, we are creating this marbled paper flower Easter basket in a rainbow of colors to match all of our favorite Peeps. And I'm showing you guys how to make the paper flowers now. If you missed the first part where I showed how to marble the paper, this live will be posted on the Peeps channel after the live is over, so that you guys can come back and watch it and get caught up on the crafting, marbling paper, or anything that you may have missed. Okay, so I've spiraled that all around my finger, and then I have this section at the very bottom, and that's what we will hot glue this flower to. Now, we will be working with a hot glue gun. This is a low temperature one, so it's not as much of a burn risk. But if you are working with hot glue, low temp, high temp, just be careful. Don't burn yourself. If you're working with kids, maybe an adult handle this section, and don't let them do that. So now I'm just gonna put a dab of hot glue on this base piece and stick the spiral flower onto the base. All right. So you can let it unspiral a little bit if you want, and that'll make the flower a little bit bigger, or you could do a tighter curl and that'll make the flower smaller. It's a little bit of trial and error and what you like. I made a whole bunch of different sized flowers here. So as you can see, I have some bigger spirals, and then I have some tighter curled ones. But there we go. There's one of our little paper flowers. So just a cute little rosebud looking paper flower. Super easy, and you know, you don't need a pattern or anything for it, just spiral cut paper and you got your little rosebud. So now I will show you guys how to make more of a petal type flower. So something more like this, where there's actual petals. And then the third type of flower will be this type of, I'm not even sure what this one is, but this kind of looking flower. All right, so the next I'm gonna do pink. Pink. So for this one, you don't have to cut a square. I'm just cutting a smaller workable section from my big piece of marbled paper. But you're just going to want to cut almost like leaf shapes, like little ovals with a tip. It's kind of like this. This is your petal. Now you can also create, you can do curved here at the top, however you want your petal to look. But the key is that it's more oval and that it has a flat bottom like this here. All right. Then you're going to cut up about 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch up from that bottom flat part. So now you can see here we've got little legs, and you're going to cross those over and hot glue it. Cross them over like this, hot glue it, and then you get this like curved petal looking shape. And so you'll do that as many times as you need to create. Let's see, there was how long do you, the paint dries, it depends on how thick your marbling is. Somebody was asking about how long the paint would need to dry. If you're just leaving it to dry out, with not in front of a fan or anything, I say overnight is best, because there will be some thick, I don't know if you can really tell, this is kind of like a thick ridge towards the edge where a lot of the paint pilled up. That took a little bit longer to dry, so overnight is probably a good bet for letting your paint dry. But you can also just do solid color flowers as well to fill in if you're impatient and don't want to wait for it to dry. So anyways, we're going to create a whole bunch of these little petals. Now you can do all the same size, or you can do a few small ones and then work your way up to bigger ones for the outer part of the flower. And this takes a little bit of time. This is more of a time-intensive flower than these spiral ones. But I think the variety of different types of flowers in your basket is cute. So both a variety of types of flowers and then a variety of petal colors or flower colors makes the basket. So while we are cutting, somebody said they like my Peeps decorations. I made a Peeps garland. There's actually a craft, last year's Peepsonality Live, I believe there was a how-to on how to make your own Peeps garland for your Easter celebration or springtime celebration. So I just recreated it for myself with little peep buddies. All right, so I think I'm just gonna make this one smaller. I just don't wanna sit here and bore you guys with my cutting out a bunch of flower petals. But let's see. Make sure I have 8. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, do one more out of this batch, and then I'm gonna hot glue these together. So I mean, as you can see, like when you start to cut, like this one looks really flower petally, like that marbled look almost looks like gradient and like a real flower petal. Okay, so I'm gonna take my glue gun and I'm gonna glue those little legs that we cut together to create that domed petal shape. All right. So then once we have that done, we will attach all of these petals together to create the flower. So my favorite Peep is the pink bunny. Just like the original pink bunny. I like that regular flavor, original flavor. How about you guys? Oh, I need a new glue stick. Are there any questions on the craft portion of this, this craft, this PEEPSONALITY Live? I can help you answer any crafty questions that you have right now while I'm gluing these. Ooh, now they're all sticking together. Yeah, somebody said they want to try the tropical ones. I really want to try the new tropical ones. I love tropical flavors, and I mean, I know it's springtime, but I feel like summer's approaching, and I want all the tropicalness. Okay, so now I have all of my flower petals, and I'm just going to attach them starting at the center, and I'm going to put a little dab of hot glue here on the top of the petal, and then I'm going to take the next one, and I'm going to attach it right on top of there next to that, and then I'm just going to work my way around with the circle. Somebody's asking if you can use plain paper. You can just use plain paper like what you have from your printer or copier. That would work too. This is kind of a little bit thicker than printer paper, but not as thick as cardstock, what I'm using. It's just like an art paper from the kids section of the craft store. Okay, and then, sorry, I'm showing you the details and not telling you what I'm doing. But as you can see, it's starting to create, it almost looks like a little plumeria flower here. So I'm almost done with the center section. You can get about 5 in there to create that. Now you can leave this flower just as it is and ball up a little piece of paper to stick in the middle, and you have a certain look flower, like you could do some of the yellow marble paper balled up and glued in there. Or you can take more of your petals and keep gluing around the outside now to create a bigger flower. And you just want to do it in between the previous petals. So here I had 2, it's kind of hard to see, but I have 2 here. Let's see there. And then I'm just going to glue this one in between those 2. And then I will just go around and do that for the rest of the ones that I have to create slightly bigger. And the more petals you want to cut and glue, the bigger you can create your flower. And this is where you would create bigger and bigger petals as you go out so that they can create like a really giant statement flower. So there you go. There's the little flower. I think I'm going to go ahead and like do what I said and ball up a little bit of paper. I have some of this yellow here. Let's scrap. So I'm just going to ball this up and glue that into the center. Okay. Jeez, I'm dropping everything. All right. So then I just glue that into the center, and now I have another little flower. So we have our spiral, this kind, and then we'll do this kind of frilly fringed looking one, which is also super simple. So for this one, you're just going to want to cut a strip, maybe about 2.5 inches. And this is really just all relative because you don't have to measure it exactly. I'm just eyeballing it, 2.5. And then I'm going to fold it in half, like this. And so on the folded section, I'm going to fringe cut it, about 1/4 inch fringe. And I'm going to leave it uncut at the very bottom so that it's still attached, but it's fringed all the way down to about 1/4 inch down. This is where if they have actual scissors that fringe cut for you. They cut about, I think, 5 or 6 cuts at once to create fringe, which makes it super simple, but if you're quick with the scissors, you can get that done. So now I've just fringe cut this, leaving about 1/4 inch at the bottom uncut, and this is on the folded section. And now I'm just going to roll it up. I am not the owner of Peeps. I am the owner of Kailo Chic, which is a craft Instagram and blog. You can find me over there. It's at KAILOCHIC, and I have a whole bunch of fun Easter crafts that I share. So we just rolled this up. I'm gonna tuck this down a little bit, and I'm gonna hot glue the very edge down. Okay, and now the fun part is just kind of flooping it. So you're just gonna push it down, floop it out to create your fun like pom-pom-ish. Maybe it was like a mum. I guess it would be kind of like a mum flower. So there you go. So there's your third type of flower. So we've got plumeria, you know, just a general generic flower, kind of like a mum type flower, and then this little like rosebud type sun. So those are 3 different types. And then you are going to just create a whole plethora of them in different sizes and different colors, and you're gonna glue them to your basket. So I have a tiny little basket here that we are going to glue some of these flowers onto. And again, hot glue gun is your friend. Just be very careful with it not to burn yourself. If you are doing this craft with littles, just do the gluing portion for them. So then I'm just hot gluing it directly on the basket like that. You might need to hold it in place for a second to let that glue cool. There we go. And then I'm going to add some of my other flowers on here. So this is where you get to be creative too. Like if you don't want to do the entire front of the basket, or you don't have time to make all of those flowers, you can just do it around the top edge, or you can just do it around the handle. This is kind of where you use your creativity and your own artistic expression. Oops, that one's falling down. All right. So we got a cute little flower Easter basket here, but this wouldn't be Peeps channel if we did not adorn it with some Peeps. So I will show you my trick to getting these Peeps. Now you can hot glue them directly on, but what I found to work, and you can use a wood skewer or a toothpick. These are just plastic drink stirrers that I happen to have on hand. And so I just use this to get the Peep on there, and then I could slide it directly into my flower arrangement like this and attach that to the basket and get my little Peeps on there. So I'm gonna add a few. So we've got yellow, blue, and pink. So I already got my pink. So I'm gonna get some yellow going. And there's all the sugar. I just sugar-fied my Easter basket as well. Okay, so then I'm just gonna get this on there, and you can even break these if it's too long. Like you can see this one hanging out. You can break these in half if you need to. Again, if you're using a toothpick or a wooden skewer, that works really well. And then you got some, let me break this one. Some little Peeps on there, and then I'm gonna glue on, maybe glue on a blue Chic. Let me grab one of those packs. So I hopefully have swayed you guys into crafting with Peeps. I mean, yes, you can snap on them while you craft, and that's half the fun. But also, they look super adorable in a craft. So if you haven't seen, there's going to be several more episodes of PEEPSONALITY live in the coming weeks. And we've got some recipes coming using those coffee Peeps I talked about. Or I think it's a coffee cake. So maybe it's using the coffee Peeps, I don't know. But you can at least eat the coffee Peeps along with the coffee cake. And then there's going to be another fun Peeps craft, and they're making these Peep cones, which are super adorable, and you are going to want to check that out too. It's going to be every Tuesday at 6:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Central, here on the Peeps Brand channel. And you can get your recipes, all your Peeps recipes, and all your Peeps crafting done. So now I'm just going to glue another little Chick onto the side here. Oh, look how cute that is. Oops, that one fell because I didn't glue it into place. But anyway, I mean, is that not adorable? Now just imagine this whole basket covered, or just the top, because I kind of like the way it looks against the wicker. I just found this Easter basket at the craft store. So really just anywhere that you can even use an Easter basket from years past and upcycle it into a cute Peeps basket for you. And then, of course, fill it with Peeps. All right, I hope you guys had fun crafting with me. And again, you can catch this if you missed any parts of it or need to come back and rewatch it and remember how to do some of the flowers or some of the marbling, this will be posted on the Peeps channel. And tune in next week for that Peeps coffee cake because that sounds delicious. All right, bye guys. Thanks for crafting with me.